Hi, you guys. So I'm doing something a little unusual on Real Housewives of Orange County, season 19, episode 14, in Gossip Dump. I'm actually going to be doing the gossip in this video today that I'm dropping early, and I'll be doing the recap with Kim D tomorrow. Now, you need to watch the Kim D live tomorrow at 1 p.m. EST. We'll be talking probably about Miami Reunion Part 2, Special Forces, but most importantly, I got sent a bunch of exclusive gossip that Kim D doesn't know that I'm about to dump on her. And she knows something's coming. Obviously, she's my friend, so I didn't want to bombard her, but she has no idea what it is. And it's shocking. It's more shocking than the last live we did, believe it or not. I think it's earth-shattering. Honestly, when I say that, I mean it's going to change the climate of everything that you know of as of right now with Kim D, Teresa Giudice, Louie Ruelas, Real Housewives of New Jersey, the future cast. Get ready, spread the word, and I'm bringing receipts because I have to with what we're about to talk about. So pretty excited about tomorrow's live, and I want to go to bed on time so I deliver it perfectly. So that's it. Without further ado, we're going to get into our first part of today's gossip, which is that, is Heather Dubrow maybe exiting Real Housewives of Orange County? I kind of get the sense she might be for a few reasons. Number one, Heather Dubrow has been seen shooting in Los Angeles. It's pretty well established now that she's living there. Number two, Terry Dubrow took to a podcast and said some things that I don't believe he would be saying if he wasn't prepared that maybe Heather Dubrow was exiting the show, either by her own choice or by the producer's choice. There's something in the air. So for my patrons, I can now confirm that my sources were correct from September 23rd, 2025 about the second half of the season and what's going to happen with the Gretchen Rossi scandal, that she liked homophobic slurs and all these things, and the women are going to turn on her, especially Heather Dubrow, because of the LGBTQ component. And this isn't going to be what everybody thinks, though, because something is going to happen, which I tell you what it is in this bonus audio in case you want to go find out now. Here's the description. Real Housewives of Orange County Season 19 spoilers about how Tamra Judge is allegedly orchestrating a takedown of Gretchen. So as you can see, there will be more to this than meets the eye. And don't worry, I'm going to play you Terry confirming the basic gossip on this. So it may shock you to find out that Heather Dubrow's origin story with Real Housewives of Orange County all started with Terry Dubrow, who was looking to reactivate his plastic surgery business because it was slow. Let me listen to the clip with you.
It was where it is today. It's changed a lot. But in 2007 and 8, business went away, and I said, what should I do to increase my business? I know I'll put my wife on television because I have a wife who is a kind of a well-known actress for a while, and then she had 4 kids. A bit of a stretch, Terry. Was not on TV anymore. So I started pitching her around town with her friends to do a restaurant television show. And everyone was interested in doing this show. These beautiful women, wealthy in Newport Beach. And then as the final meeting I took a meeting with Evolution, a guy named Alex Baskin, and I said, hey, so this restaurant show, these women are going to fail. It'll be funny. They're beautiful. Every one of their husbands is sort of captain of their industry. And it'll be a funny reality TV disaster. And he said, that sounds great. How'd you like to incubate that show on the Real Housewives of Orange County? And I said, I don't think I could sell that to my wife because that would be the final nail in the coffin of her for her TV career. So I went down and she said, long story short, she said, absolutely not, would never do that terrible reality show. And so I called Alex Baskin back and I said, she'll do it. And so for the next 2 weeks, I sort of strung him along, and finally I got her to do it, and we put our family on the show, and my kids grew up on the Real Housewives of Orange County. But it changed everything. All of a sudden, overnight, we were famous.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, within 3 episodes, you walk into a restaurant, everyone knows who you are. That happened to me on The Swan because we were on after American Idol. It was a big makeover show.
No, I remember.
Yeah, but that show lasted
Controversial
2
show.
years,
My
and then
friend
sort of 15
Randall
minutes of fame,
Hayworth
more
was on
12
that
minutes
show.
of fame, sort of went away.
So that's an interesting dynamic shift for everybody to consider, that Terry's business was struggling. Heather was the one, in a sense, that saved it through going on RHOC for him. And then he gets botched after this. So essentially, Terry Dubrow was saved by Heather Dubrow, because remember, he also made that terrible investment that I covered in last week's Gossip Dump around this time. So he had lost like millions of dollars in a con investment. His business was struggling. And it's Heather who gets him back on the radar and gets, him going on Botched, which then makes him famous. So then Terry talks about how horrific it is for all the housewives to be on Real Housewives of Orange County. They lose sleep. They hate it. He, in fact, has PTSD whenever he goes and shoots the show because it's always a disaster for him. It's, in his mind, really, really toxic and bad. But the women love the fame, and the fame is so addicting that you can't give it up, like a toxic relationship. Let me play you the clip.
Sure, that'd be great, but once you go, stay famous,
Yeah.
stay on TV. It's more important to stay on TV than it actually is to get on TV. For people in reality TV. I mean, it's very exciting. Oh, if I got a reality show, that'd be great. But once you get it, oh my God, I just can't. I have to have it. It's like that horrible boyfriend or girlfriend you had that you can't stand, but you can't live without. They all hate being on that show. Every single one of them.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you hate being on that show?
Or Housewives?
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, my wife say you have to film. I go, I'm not filming.
Yeah, but this began by you describing how you forced your wife to do this.
So
you
I
understand? You sound like you. This is something that happened to you.
A-hole.
Like you got hit. Like a second reality TV show has hit Terry Dubrow. But like.
So Terry Dubrow gives an example as to why he has PTSD, does not want to shoot the show. And often, actually, he even gives an example where he self-medicates to get through filming, which is why he was such a wingnut at Heather Dubrow's birthday that they showed at the beginning of the season. He got super stoned because he didn't want to shoot the show. So he got through it by crutching on the marijuana. But let me play you this clip. This is a longer one, but please listen to it because it's going to give you a lot of insight. I'll be right next to you. But before I do, let me remind you that Nicole James joined season 16 of Real Housewives of Orange County. She was supposed to be maybe a main character, but then we quickly found out in Gossip Land that she was demoted to a friend of. And then she kind of goes off an edge, a cliff. Like she starts out really predominant in the show, and then kind of like me, they start to edit her out completely. And everybody was like, what is going on? A lot of people blamed Terry Dubrow and Heather Dubrow for this because Heather was upset because it turns out that they were going to make a discussion point on the show that Nicole James sued Terry Dubrow like 20 years earlier and he had settled it, but like they wanted to make it into a big deal about, Terry's credentials. Heather was like, I'm not going on the show to destroy my husband's career. Like, what the hell are you doing? It becomes a huge fight between production and Heather Dubrow and Terry. Allegedly, Heather gets so upset the night that it happens that she pushes a producer. Like, it's a big scandal, this one. Well, guess what? You're not going to believe this. Terry and Heather brought Nicole James on the show. Let me play you the clip.
I get to be here on TV. This is the greatest thing ever. I'm doing fabulous superhero plastic surgery. I love it. The next season, Botched is a number 1 show. Well, number 2 show because Kardashians was 1. Number 1, 2 show on E. We come on Housewives with a new housewife that we bring on. That we bring on, a friend of Heather's. Mm-hmm. This beautiful girl, lovely, wealthy, would have been a perfect housewife potentially. I don't know if she was willing to expose and go nuts, and fight with everybody. That would remain to be seen. But she comes on, and as it turns out, unknown to me, 20 years earlier, I operated on her, and she sued me. And it was 20 years later, she looked very different. Mm-hmm. She was very nice, and she naively thought that they wouldn't know. But of course, all of the other housewives knew and the producers knew. And so this is going to be awesome. We're going to blow up the Dubrows with this new housewife. So we throw the first all housewife party at my house, hosted by, and by the way, when hosted by, we pay for it, just so you know.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Oh, they give you like, here's $1,000. Now go throw your $40,000 party.
Is that trip for trips too, or trips they pay
No,
for?
trip they pay for, but you still, I mean, my wife
You're
flies.
accustomed to a lifestyle.
My wife flies private.
Yeah,
so,
we're not. Yeah, okay.
And she has to fight with them to fly private because they want her on the main commercial thing. But whatever. So here's the first party, and $35,000 of sushi, no booze there, and they walk in, and all of a sudden it's like the producers go to one of the housewives. She goes, "So there's something I need to talk to you about."
Wow.
You know that new housewife? She sued Terry for malpractice. And my wife went, "Ooh," it was like, being she said, "Oh my God, they're going to blow up a malpractice lawsuit against my husband at the beginning of this season." And that's bad for me.
Yeah.
Because it's going to be covered on TMZ. It's going to be blown out. There'll be exaggerations about it. It was quickly dropped. Nothing happened. Okay. It occurred 20 years earlier. And she called. I wasn't in that party. I was upstairs. I didn't want to be involved because I'm on botch. I don't want to film the show anymore.
No, you're the botch guy.
I'm the botch guy. She just say, "You're filming this show. You know I have to show my family. So you're doing this." Oh, fine. But not this one. She said, "You cannot." She calls me down, and I look at the executive producer, and I go, can I curse?
You can do whatever you want.
Fucking kidding me? I'm the hero on your same production company. I'm bringing in millions of dollars for you on my show, and now you're going to trash me while I'm on your other show?
Believe it or not.
And so I call the head people at the production company.
Alex Baskin.
They go, "We didn't know about this." And I go, "You're lying. I know you knew about this."
Doug.
Because they'll lie. You knew, and you were willing to blow me up while I'm a hero on your show that's probably going to go 10 seasons, which of course it has. Okay. Yeah. And they go, "Well, you're on the Housewives." And I went berserk. It's
a hard thing to hear, but it is true, right? You're being confronted by the truth you already know, which is these are not your friends. No one here is your friends. They do not have your interests at heart.
Right, but
but it's about the money. It's about the money from the other show.
It's about the money. But if you and I were in business together, okay, on
Terry,
this
it's a good
podcast,
point
I
here.
was your co-host, right? And this podcast was huge and doing really, really well.
So far I'm with you.
Yeah, and which it is. I know, I know all about you. You're awesome. But and then I suddenly produce a new show about you, and I decide
to bash you.
it's a lesser show,
right?
A lesser show. So botched is more important than OC.
So I decide
Heather's
on this show to trash you, so you look terrible. Like, who's going to want you to operate on? You're
right.
Right. Anyway, you understand. I don't have to describe. I was so to this day. My point is, I still have PTSD from that. 8 years ago. So when I walk in to shoot a scene and they're miking me up, I feel like I'm walking into the lion's den. That, oh my God, what's going to happen to me in this scene?
Yeah.
What terrible things are they going to say about me? But now it's gotten worse because at least that was the truth.
Okay, so now we get to the rest of season 19. Spoiler alert, jump ahead if you don't want to hear it. I'm sure you do. Okay. So what's coming out is that Gretchen is liking homophobic posts, is part of, the strong MAGA Orange County movement, all this stuff, right? Really where they're going to focus the attention is on the homophobic liking of posts. Now, Gretchen's perspective is these were fake and not real. I did notice that account that I think is fishy, that I do think an Orange County housewife is behind, that I called out, I think it was in last week's recap on YouTube. I do think that was premeditated. This scandal was pushed by a cast member on purpose, so the fans would kind of catch attention to it and be drawn to it, and then it would make sense when it comes out on the show. However, I've got news for you. I know for a fact that this was all being talked about back during the time that there was filming happening, and quite widely, and none of it came out on social media until the show started airing, which tells me it's a tactic that you guys are being manipulated by social media to care about this more than you normally would for the show's sake, which means there's housewives behind it. Which housewife? Tamra. Okay, Tamra Judge, in my humble opinion, or maybe a little more than that.
There may be some undertones of some of that actually play out this season, where there's some evidence online of some of this homophobia, right. And then this person has to deny it or not. It becomes
Gretchen.
A whole thing, I understand. But I must say, it's Bravo. And the most important thing you can do if you're a housewife is please Andy Cohen. So the last thing you ever want to admit to is being homophobic.
Because there's a gay kingpin at the top of this whole pyramid.
Right. And so even the fired housewives are never anti Andy Cohen because they're always holding out the hope that they'll be asked back, all of them.
It's like the ring of power from Lord of the Rings.
It's true, but I will tell you, I don't think they're homophobic. I really don't think any of the housewives, to be honest with you, and I've met them all from all the franchises. This is probably naive of me. I don't think there's any homophobia among any of them.
You just
really
screwed
don't.
up the whole season.
First of all, they're women, they're
LOL.
moms, and I know females can be as homophobic as men, but they just seem so right, in my definition of right, when it comes to that. So I don't feel there's any homophobia in the Bravo universe. Maybe I'm being naive, but
So, of course, there's more to this story, and that was in the bonus audio I shared you earlier, and Terry Dubrow hints at this in that sound clip I just played you, which is obviously if Gretchen was, in his opinion, a homophobic person, he wouldn't be saying, I don't think anyone on the cast is homophobic, right? And that's going to play into this. So now Terry drags all of the Real Housewives of Orange County women, plus I think he's referring to all the women in the franchise. Listen.
Women are so desperate to stay on the show that they'll virtually almost do or say anything to have a storyline that allows them to have conflict and controversial and interesting at your expense. It's not that they don't care. They care enough about staying on the show that if there's something that could kind of really, really hurt you, even better, because that'll be more controversial.
Even better.
And is there a conversation when the cameras aren't rolling where everyone kind of lowers their gloves and says, all's fair in the arena? I know that was too far, but I'm a little worried I'm not going to make it to next season. Or does it become, even though it's performative, does it become a real conflict?
So there used to be that.
He has a weird idea
but it's now
of the old
changed
days.
to
It doesn't
the
match
fourth
my
wall is
experience
completely broken down.
in
So
this podcast.
they will bring in things that you said off camera to the media and interview that media person as to what you said, and that will become a storyline, even though they don't have that on film.
Wow. And this could be.
Yeah.
Because you're being pretty hard on these ladies.
Yeah. Well,
that's exciting.
No, I'm not being hard on these ladies.
Not compared to what they would say.
Yeah, no, I'm not being hard on any one of them individually. I'm talking about the franchise all over
sure
them.
You are.
Not on Orange County Housewives. I like them all. Basically,
oh, wow, now he likes them all.
Well, okay, obviously I'm afraid of all of them. But what I do to protect myself is, number one, I don't ever watch the show.
Really?
I have no idea what's going on.
Wow.
That's only what I hear from my wife. I try not to look at the X feed because the X feed is so mean.
Right.
Okay. And I try not to look at sort of Google articles about the show because they'll spin out on a topic that just go, what's going on? And you have to protect yourself when you're on a reality show. So this season, for example, one of the main storylines that I'm aware of is that
Listen to what
one
he says
of
about
the housewives
This is about Katie.
spoke or didn't speak.
To Kiki.
Who knows? I don't care. To a blogger who's not on the show at all.
Kiki.
Yeah.
And then they said, wow, that was so wrong that housewife may or may not have done that. So what do? They bring the blogger on the show.
Yeah, you gotta get that blogger.
Blogger comes on the show. The other housewife who started this whole thing is popular, and the blogger gets trashed and is almost canceled because of it, because no one believes the blogger now. It spins out.
So then what happened after this bombshell after bombshell dropped? We jump to Alexis Bellino, who posts that she's now married to John Janssen, and she has like a song that they wrote about their family coming together. Hopefully it'll let me play it and I don't have to switch it out.
Mac Noodles. Congratulations, you two lovebirds. Listen. Hey, love finds itself in mysterious places. The housewife was real, but the angel was faceless. Come on, baby, let's see where this takes us. Gotta love those certain instances, yes, those certain cases. Don't ask why, just embrace it. Our past lives didn't make us, our past ties didn't change us. Yep, we're the Janssens, rising up through the challenges that face us. The Janssens, smiling in the face of the haters. We're the Janssens. We're the Janssens.
It's pretty clear Alexis Bellino would like to come back to the show as John Janssen's wife, whether Shannon Bedore likes it or not. Anyway, I have no doubt that on tonight's show, they're going to begin to introduce this new scandal with Gretchen Rossi, which I've already told you what happens. So if anything exciting happens beyond that, I will cover it on the Live with Kim D tomorrow. But I'm going to go because, again, I don't want to be up super late tonight for tomorrow's show because it's a whopper. All right, you guys, like, subscribe, and share this video. And please send tips from time to time. It really helps me and my son. Thanks so much, and we'll talk soon.